You know that feeling, right? When you're just drowning in information articles, notes, whatever, and you just need the core stuff
Oh,
fast.
definitely. Cutting through the noise. That's always the challenge, finding that clear path to, what actually matters.
Yeah, exactly. And that's basically what we're doing in this deep dive. We've got some really unique sources today.
From Inside Anthropic, I hear, about Claude Code.
That's right. It's a collection of experiences, insights shared directly from teams within Anthropic, real day-to-day use.
Ah, so like a look under the hood, how different people are actually using the tool.
Precisely. Our goal here is to unpack these real-world examples for you. See how it's changing workflows, not just for like the hardcore engineers.
But for others too, like marketing, legal.
Exactly. Marketing, legal, design, even finance. We've got input from teams like data infrastructure, product development, security, inference, data science, API, growth marketing, product design, RL engineering, and legal. It's quite a mix.
Okay, that diversity is key,
Right.
right? Because it suggests the tool isn't just, a niche thing.
Right. So let's dig in, maybe start with the most expected area, how it's boosting the core technical stuff.
Makes sense. Like debugging, troubleshooting.
Yeah, that's a big one. The data infrastructure team, for instance, they had this critical problem. Kubernetes clusters failing.
Oof, okay. Kubernetes. That's basically the engine running their applications, right? Complex stuff.
Very. And instead of, immediately calling in specialists, they tried something interesting. They started feeding screenshots of their cloud dashboards into Claude Code.
Screenshots, not just logs or text.
Right, visual information. And Claude apparently could interpret those visuals. It walked them through the interface, diagnosed the actual problem, which was pod IP address exhaustion, basically running out of network addresses.
Okay, got it.
And then it gave them the exact commands to fix it.
Wow. So it's not just explaining, it's providing the direct solution from a picture. That's
Yeah.
that's impressive.
It's a massive shortcut. And security engineering, similar story. Faster incident resolution.
How much faster?
They cut the time way down by feeding it stack traces, those error reports,
Yeah, the call sequences?
and the relevant docs. Claude could trace the program's flow much quicker. So tasks that usually took, say, 10 or 15 minutes,
Yeah.
down to about 5 minutes.
Okay, that's a significant speed up for incident response.
And the inference team, same deal. Understanding complex systems, debugging. It's accelerating that whole process of just figuring out what's wrong.
Right, the diagnosis part, which can be half the battle. Okay, so that's fixing things. What about actually writing code? Development.
Good question. Product development's doing some interesting stuff with rapid prototyping. They use this auto-accept mode.
Ah, the autonomous loops I've read about.
Yeah.
Where Claude just kind of goes.
Exactly. It writes code, writes tests, keeps going. But their key tip, the insight here, is starting clean.
Clean slate.
Yeah, and committing checkpoints really often.
Smart, so you can roll back easily if it goes off the rails.
Precisely. And they had this great example building Vim mode for their product, the keyboard shortcut.
Sure, classic editor feature, not trivial to implement well.
Right. And get this. After just a few iterations of Claude working autonomously,
Yeah.
about 70% of the final code came directly from Claude.
70%. Okay, that's substantial. That's not just boilerplate.
No way. Real functionality. They also use it synchronously, like working alongside it for critical business logic, handling repetitive bits while they supervise.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And RL engineering reinforcement learning, they're doing similar things.
Yeah, iterative approach, frequent checkpoints, mostly for small to medium features. So similar strategy there.
Got it. And what about testing, quality assurance? That's often a bottleneck.
Huge area. Multiple teams. Product dev, inference, RL security. They're all using Claude Code to generate unit tests automatically.
And does it catch things they might miss? Like edge cases?
Exactly. The sources specifically mention it helps generate tests for edge cases, making the code more robust without as much, manual brainstorming of weird scenarios.
That's a big deal for quality.
And product development even integrated it with GitHub Actions. So if someone comments on a pull request, like, fix this formatting, Claude can automatically be assigned to just do it.
Okay, automating the annoying little fixes. That frees up developer brainpower, doesn't it?
That's the insight, yeah. Reducing that mental load, letting people focus on harder problems.
Right, and navigating code.
Yeah.
Especially big, unfamiliar code bases.
Oh, yeah, indispensable there. Think about a monorepo massive code base or just joining a new team.
Totally daunting sometimes.
So data infrastructure tells new hires, use Claude Code first. Ask it about dependencies. Find the relevant files.
Instead of bugging colleagues constantly or gripping for hours.
Exactly. The inference team needed to find all the places a specific function was called. Claude did it in seconds.
Okay, that beats manual searching any day.
And the API team. They say it's their first stop now. Before they even start digging into unfamiliar code, they ask Claude to point them to the right files.
So it's like an expert guide for the code base itself.
Pretty much. Okay, so we've seen how it boosts the traditional tech roles, but maybe the most fascinating part of these sources is how it's bridging gaps, empowering different kinds of roles.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, moving beyond just pure coding assistance.
Totally. Like the data infrastructure team worked with their finance department, showed them how to create workflows.
But without writing code,
Yeah.
right, that was the amazing part.
Exactly. The finance folks just described what they needed, the steps, the logic in plain text, like just writing it out.
It's natural language.
Natural language. They fed that description to Claude Code, and the system understood it, ran the whole data workflow,
Wow.
and even stopped to ask the user for inputs when needed, like dates or parameters.
Okay, hold on. So people with zero coding background could run complex data workflows just by describing them.
That's what the source says. It's democratizing data work. Truly.
That is profound. It changes who can do what.
And product design is another area you might not expect. Designers are actually implementing front-end polish themselves.
It's like visual tweaks on the website or app.
Yeah, but even more technical stuff like large state management changes.
Whoa, state management. That's usually deep in engineering territory. It's about how data moves around in the app.
Right. Normally, designer makes a mock-up, hands it off to engineering, takes time back and forth.
Yeah, the classic handoff.
But here, product design is using Claude Code to get their exact vision implemented directly, at least for some things.
So they can bypass that handoff loop sometimes. Get closer to the final product faster.
Seems like it. It changes that design engineering collaboration dynamic.
Definitely speeds things up and maintains fidelity. What about non-technical teams like marketing?
Growth marketing, a team of one non-technical person operating like a much larger team now.
What?
Totally. Automating repetitive stuff, like generating hundreds of Google ads, variations, headlines, descriptions in minutes.
Hundreds? How?
Their trick was breaking it down for Claude, using specialized subagents, one for headlines, one for descriptions, and so on. Better results that way.
Clever. Divide and conquer.
And they built a Figma plugin, the design tool.
Yeah.
Used Claude Code to build a plugin that spits out 100 creative variations in half a second.
Half a second. For 100 designs.
That's the claim. It's a massive force multiplier for a small team, allows them to scale output like crazy without needing dedicated engineers for everything.
It's transformative, not just efficient.
Right.
Wow. Okay, but legal. That seems like a real outlier.
Right. But they had some amazing use cases. One person built a custom accessibility app.
An app for accessibility?
Yeah, a predictive text app for family members who had trouble speaking. Built it in 1 hour.
1 hour by someone in
Big
legal.
deal.
That's incredible. A custom solution meaning a specific need built that fast.
Real world impact, and not just, a toy project. They're also prototyping workflow automation for the legal department.
Like internal tools.
Yeah, things like a phone tree system to route legal questions or tools to automate team updates, track review status in Google Workspace.
So building their own internal productivity solutions without needing a separate dev team or IT project.
Exactly. Bypassing those traditional bottlenecks for departmental needs, it shows how AI can empower individual business units.
Okay, that's really broadening the scope. And documentation,
Yeah.
knowledge sharing.
Another big area. Data infra uses it to update docs automatically after a session. Security engineering feeds it multiple documents.
Yeah.
And Claude synthesizes them into markdown runbooks or troubleshooting guides. Makes finding info way faster than digging through wikis.
Like an instant research assistant?
Pretty much. The inference team uses it to get explanations of complex machine learning concepts or settings, cut their research time by like 80%.
From an hour down to 10, 20 minutes, was it?
Something like that. So it breaks down expertise barriers, even within technical teams.
Yeah, and it helps cross language barriers too, right? Inference, using it for Rust code.
Yeah, writing test logic in Rust without really knowing Rust. Or the data science team building that huge TypeScript app.
The 5,000-line visualization tool.
Yeah, despite knowing very little JavaScript or TypeScript, that's a major project outside their core skills.
It just gives people confidence, doesn't it? like the API team debugging unfamiliar code.
Exactly. It acts like an interpreter, a guide, letting people step outside their usual comfort zone or expertise. It's genuinely expanding who can do what.
Okay, so we see what people are doing, which is amazing. How are they actually working with it? What are the effective strategies, the how-to?
Right, the techniques. A big theme is iteration, treating it like a partner, not a vending machine.
Yeah, the API team called it an iterative partner, not a one-shot deal.
And data science, ML engineering, they have this slot machine approach for refactoring code.
Slot machine, how does that work?
They save their current code state, let Claude run autonomously for maybe 30 minutes on a refactor.
Yeah.
Then they look at the result. If it's good, great, they keep it. If not, they just junk it and start over from the saved state, maybe with a different prompt.
Ah, so it's faster to restart sometimes than to fix Claude's mistakes.
Often, yeah. RL Engineering had a similar tip. Try the simple one-shot prompt first. Ask it to do the whole thing.
But that doesn't always work.
They said maybe only a third of the time for complex stuff. If it fails, then switch to guiding it more closely, step by step.
Makes sense. Start simple, then get collaborative if needed. What about product design? They had a process too.
Yeah, a two-step. Plan in Claude.ai, build in Claude Code, use the chat interface for brainstorming, then the code environment for building.
Yeah.
And they stress telling Claude Code to slow down sometimes, work step by step.
Okay, managing the interaction.
Yeah.
And inputs matter, right? We talked about screenshots.
Crucial. Data infra using screenshots for debugging. Product design just pasting mock-up images directly into the interface. Command plus V.
And Claude can read those mockups and generate code from them.
Surprisingly well, apparently. Turn static designs into functional prototypes much faster. It's that direct link from visual concept to working code.
Very powerful for designers. And structuring the interaction, giving it context.
Fundamental. Data infra uses detailed Claude.md files like config files to guide it on routine tasks. Product design uses custom memory files.
Memory files.
Yeah, to remind Claude they're a designer, so it should give simpler, actionable steps, not super technical code dumps, tailoring the output.
Ah, smart. And growth marketing subagents. That's a structuring strategy too.
Definitely. Breaking the big task, like writing an ad, into smaller, specialized tasks, headline agent, description agent, gave better results, easier to manage.
And security's key. Let Claude talk first.
Yeah, let it start committing code or outputting results early. Sometimes leads to more complete solutions than trying to overspecify everything up front.
Interesting. And all this, the iteration, the checkpointing, it enables more experimentation. Yeah. Right. Less fear of breaking things.
Totally. RL Engineering's try and rollback approach, and the legal team's point about sharing silly prototypes.
Yeah, I like that. Overcoming the fear of showing early imperfect work.
Because those quick demos, even if basic Spark ideas, they show possibilities across departments in a way abstract descriptions just can't. Really spurs innovation.
And product design, turning mock-ups into interactive prototypes, changes how they collaborate with engineers. Show, don't just tell.
Exactly. So, looking at your picture, any practical considerations? Tooling, adoption?
Yeah, tooling is definitely mentioned.
Uh-huh.
Things like using secure MCP servers for sensitive data infra. Growth marketing did that.
And legal immediately flagged the security side of things, right? Deep integrations need careful thought about access and controls.
Absolutely. They also push for building compliance tools alongside AI development, balancing the innovation with the risk. That's critical.
And automation via GitHub Actions seems common now for ticketing, bug fixes.
Yeah, product dev, product design.
Yeah.
Using it to streamline those kinds of workflows.
What about getting teams using it? Adoption.
Data infra shared their sessions, like live demos, to spread best practices, shortcut the learning curve for others.
Good idea. Product design did mention the initial setup could be tricky for non-devs.
Right, a bit of a hurdle, but once they got it working,
Yeah.
transformative impact.
Yeah.
They saw two modes.
Yeah.
For developers, it was an augmented workflow, making them faster, better.
Okay, enhancing existing skills.
But for non-technical users, they called it a, holy crap, I'm a developer workflow.
Ah, love that.
Because it gave them totally new capabilities they just didn't have before.
That difference is key, isn't it? Same tool, but creating efficiency for one group and entirely new possibilities for another.
It really reshapes who can contribute technically.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. If you boil down all these internal Anthropic stories, the main takeaway seems pretty clear.
Yeah, it's definitely not just a niche coding assistant. It's much broader.
It's really acting like a versatile partner, isn't it?
Sure.
Collaborating, transforming workflows across all sorts of different functions.
And empowering people, regardless of whether they came from a technical background. Boosting efficiency, yes, but also just fundamentally increasing what individuals can do, sometimes in really surprising ways.
Absolutely. And for you listening, seeing these real-world examples, debugging with screenshots, automating marketing, finance using plain text, legal building apps, hopefully gives you concrete ideas about how these AI tools can be applied now.
Yeah, it's about bridging those skill gaps,
Yeah.
unlocking potential that was maybe locked behind technical barriers before.
Which leads us to that final thought, something for you to chew on. If a tool like this lets people bypass traditional technical hurdles, lets designers implement state changes or legal build apps or marketing automate campaigns, what does that really mean for the future?
Yeah, what does it mean for specialization? How does cross-functional collaboration change? And maybe most importantly, in a world where technical execution gets easier, where does that uniquely human expertise provide the most value? What's left that truly requires deep, specialized human insight?